The year I turned 26, I was just shy of clearing $20 million in profit. From the outside, things looked perfect, but realistically, I was breaking. Panic attacks became the norm. I had no choice. I had to step down as CEO, and it felt like a failure. But now I realize it was just the beginning. Now I'm building something new, Daily Mentor, and it's the most fulfilling work that I've ever done because I don't want founders to go through what I went through. I got up at 2:50 this morning. I was so excited. I was just like, there's so much to do, so much to see. Just the top tip, all you need to do is go make millions of dollars, buy a farm, and then get the fuck out. That's all you've got to do because you'll be happy, zen, plus free.
So we're here with Sofa Dofa. Firstly, top performing witty influencer of all time. You've got the record. We've obviously worked together for probably 3 years now, even more. But more excitingly, you've launched an e-com brand. We had much bigger influencers working with us, but you converted more. Why do your followers?
I still don't know. I think it's because when we worked together, the first video we did was in like my prime. That was when I was like blowing up. I remember I was going to sleep, waking up the next day with 100,000 more followers than when I went to sleep. So the growth was just insane. I think it was also prime COVID. So everyone was just like online shopping, watching influencers, falling in love with influencers online. I did YouTube since I was like 14. So like the OGs from YouTube know me as just like Soph.
Tell me about the e-com brand.
It's just a clothing brand, all for Mimi. So Mimi's my great grandma.
Yeah.
And she was like a seamstress in the 60s. She was such a baddie. I never got to meet her. But from the stories I hear, we were very similar. But it's just a clothing brand. We do a bit of everything. We kind of started with like pajamas and swim. And now we're kind of refining our collections, making it more seamless. But
who designs the clothes?
Me. So we have a designer, but I'm creative in other ways, but I can't draw what I want. I can like tell you. So we have someone, I tell them what I want, and they draw it up. And then mum does all the numbers, manufacturing, the business side. Yeah. I'm more of like the creative designing.
If you were an aspiring like young girl or guy trying to create a fashion label, do you think you should just dive straight in? Like, how did you learn this?
I would say dive in, but also like if you have no experience, it's easy to say that, but so hard to do. And we had no experience. I was just a school student. Mum was a lawyer. Yeah. We have no experience in fashion, no experience in e-com.
I think you just call people, right? You just be like, where do I start?
Yeah. Like, hey, help.
The first point, I'm always just like, call lots of people and just be like, who do I actually speak to? Because if they can't help you, they'll know someone.
Yeah, and that's the thing that we're good at, is being like, we don't know. We need someone, the professional to help.
So what would be your top tip to grow a social media? Like start on Instagram, find a passion. How do you do it?
Well, I think when I started on YouTube, I was trying to just be another YouTuber that I watched. And now I look back and I'm just like, no, like, what are you doing? Like, they're already out there. No one's going to watch two people the exact, like, trying to mock someone else. So I think completely be yourself, stick true, especially with brand deals. I have had influencer friends before and they'll be like filming like at a getaway. They'll be like, oh, I just need to film something. And I'm like, oh, is that good? They're like, I don't know. It's the first time I've used it. Like I just signed the deal. And I'm just like, oh my God, like I just couldn't. And I can just see and I'm just like, oh my God, this is so sponsored. Like I know you don't use that. And I don't know how I know, but I just find it so obvious.
Well, it comes like a lot of communication comes through body language rather than what's actually being said. It's just
and I think the audience can pick that up straight away. So obvious. So I think don't just say yes to everything. Stick true to yourself and don't copy anyone else.
Well, you're a wealth of knowledge. I would put money that you have a $20 million brand within 1-2 years.
Yeah, all right. We'll come back.
Well, you're 21 and you're crushing it. So I'm happy you're part of Daily Mentor.
See, Daily Mentor, that's what we'll do it.
I love it. But I'm excited to take the meet up. It should be good. We're in Melbourne. We've got the car checked into Airbnb and we're heading to a Daily Mentor meetup. There's going to be $70 million founders here, which is quite a lot. But Melbourne is this kind of central hub. I'm super pumped. There's going to be so many good e-commerce questions.
Why do you think with e-com, like, it seems like a lot of people struggle at like 2 million, they get to 2 million or 3 million or 1 million. and then they're trying to get to like 10 million and above.
Yeah.
I feel like that threshold seems to be a large challenge for a lot of people, and it seems like
Because their fundamental business that they started was a $5 million business. Because they picked a $5 million product and they're doing dropship arbitrage with no lifetime value, and they've got one business, so the constraint on their business is Facebook advertising. There's no other alternative where to take it. Competitors flock in. Dropshipping trends last 2 to 3 years and it goes down. But if you can create a product flywheel or pick a unique product that it takes the retailers 4, 5, 6 years and you can build a brand first, that ceiling is more like, well, the difficulty ceiling is more at like the $100 million mark if you do it right. So it's like, sure, we excel past the $5 million if we start a dropshipping business? Sure, but it's very, very difficult. Can you excel at e-com business past $100 million? Sure, it's just very, very difficult because you need brands, the fundamental skill sets that you need to learn, the constraints that you need to get over are more difficult. But all of the tutorials out there are teaching people how to build a $5 million brand. So of course, people are building $5 million brands. Then there's no other tutorials. So the skill sets that got them to 5 million, there is no, people struggle to educate themselves how to take it further, which is kind of like what this event is good for, because you meet people that have already done it and you're like, what did I do? And they'd be like, oh, we hired a creative strategist here. Or I hired a head of growth to fix my CRO. Or more importantly, probably for most people in dropshipping, is a head of product. It's like they actually created a product flywheel for us that made it go further.
There's something special about face-to-face meetings that digital just can't replace. All the pretense falls away and you find information through discussions that can't be found online.
Met a whole bunch of new friends there, and I've just been able to work on my business and, like have fun. It's been super good.
What have you been enjoying most about the business?
What have I been enjoying most? Mainly just like being everywhere and going everywhere. Cause like, I got to see you as well in Shark Tank. I got to do, TEDx. I've met so many new people. I'm only 15 years old right now.
So crazy.
Who knows when I'm 18, 22, who knows? I could be doing so much cool stuff.
Yeah, the world's your oyster, man. It's just you can have anything you want. You just can't have everything you want, right?
Yeah.
You just got to pick one. While I've got everyone here, just want to say thank you so much for coming. Thank you to our lovely coaches. You guys make this community so great. But also, thank you so much to all of you guys. Obviously, when I started e-commerce, I really didn't know what I was doing. You guys really do know what you're doing. You should be very, very proud. I think too often we look at people that have come before us and succeeded a lot, and we hold them on this other standard that really they don't deserve. You guys are all on the path that I've just done, and I'm just feel so privileged to be able to help you get to the next stage. So thank you very much. Oh yeah, come on.
We refuse to hire people that haven't walked the walk. And Tom, who I'm training with this morning, is the perfect example of that, running his $100 million company, Archie's Footwear.
How'd you come up with the idea? So it was my brother, who's a physiotherapist, and he just had people come in saying, I've got sore feet. When we first started, didn't know what CAD was. The first design was made out of clay.
Oh my
CAD,
gosh.
So green. So did that, and then first started selling end of 2014 at the local markets in Echuca. Sold 83 bears. And it was like, and the boys
we made it.
Oh man. And then down to Melbourne, and like sales weren't as good. We were like, what's happening, sort of thing. And we just sort of learned, you need that market of people who are willing to spend money, and that was at the Echuca market, being a little bit touristy sort of thing.
Yeah, consistent 100% growth. It wasn't like 300, 200, 100.
Yeah, there were a few bigger jumps in there, but it was 2018 is when, like, we'd been running some ads. So we sort of went wholesale hard and direct to consumer, and at the local markets as well. So sort of like that. And then, like, I can remember making one sale. Then it was up to 3 sales a day. It's like, oh, how good's this? And then that kept going up. Well, we pushed ads. They sort of clicked with CMO Tom Sheldon. Was 2018 that summer, and like we went from doing $1,000 a day to like $20,000 a day. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh,
That's good.
yeah, that was sort of it. And then we never sort of looked back from there. So we were in an 800 square metre shed in Echuca. I was managing it from Melbourne with my cousins and aunties and all this sort of stuff based in Echuca, and then went to 3PL in Melbourne, and
Yeah.
we're away. Next summer we went over to the US. It sort of just clicked. And in the golden age of
Yeah.
Facebook ads as well.
Where'd you get the revenue to?
Oh, $50.
Yeah.
$50.
Yeah.
Gets me. But
And wholesale was kind of like your defense strategy almost.
yeah, 100%. It's like,
Because we've never really cracked wholesale with Woody, but it seems like it's just like almost its own moat, right?
well, so the advantage we had was we said upfront payment terms for everyone. So we just created another Shopify store that was, people would log on, order, AOV like $400.
Yep.
And they just claimed
Yeah.
through, like, so good.
What kind of discounts would you offer on that wholesale store? And
Okay.
like, would you limit access, password?
Yeah, so you had to apply to get it. But as part of that, you'd get 2 free samples. So that was our sort of offer to
Yeah.
people. They try them on, and you put them on, you feel the arch, you're like, oh, this is great. But then they get their, they get 50% of the margin.
Yeah.
Sort of thing, like just standard
Great
stuff.
margins, man. So you went from massive e-com brand, now you're coaching with us.
Yeah.
That's a big jump. What's the incentive behind that, or the motivation?
So that was 10 years running pretty hard on something. And it was like, I love the build. You deal with brands with problems. It's mini builds everywhere. So,
Yeah, you're building for lots of people, right?
yeah.
So we're here at Chemist Warehouse. For those that don't know what Chemist Warehouse is, it's an Australian-based business. It's like the OG of chemists. It's kind of like CVS, but I guess more discount for the American people. We've got a Shark Tank brand that is actually stocked in here. Ask her about her experiences. And then, we're going to meet the Chemist Warehouse team. Hopefully we can get some secrets about how you can get stocked in as well. How many stores are you in?
530.
It's crazy scale, isn't it? Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
So we now have 52% market share,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
So eventually you're going to get 80% market share.
Yep.
And then you'll have to grow the market itself,
Yeah.
right?
So the idea is to grow the range. So we'll have the styling products.
And how did you get into Chemist Warehouse initially?
I reached out and presented the brand, and they agreed that it was a underserved need in the market. As you can see, originally there was like just Palmolive.
The reason why Emma is so good at selling her product is because she's a mum herself. She's the perfect example of solving her own needs through her innovation.
So that was really cool. The main conversation was about the reverse merger that just happened with Sigma and Chemist Warehouse. A reverse merger is where, rather than you listing your company on the stock exchange, you buy a company that's kind of already, or the company that's already on the stock exchange buys you, but you're generally larger. So it's just a quicker way to get on the stock exchange, and they've just opened up a ton of extra distribution, retail stores. So we're going to be able to get more shelf space as well. That was a big discussion that they had. They were just overwhelmingly supportive. What do you need? Because the thing about Mimi that is different to most brands that are probably trying to get retail space is it's an emerging category. All of the other brands on there are bright orange or green or something like that, with like a minion or something like that, and you wouldn't even wash your dog with that product because there's so much toxicity. We've sprayed the competitors' products on plants before and the plants have died straight away. We sprayed the product of Mimi on the plant and obviously nothing happened because it's so natural. So they're just big believers in the product, which I think you want your retailers to actually really support you in the trajectory. And because of that, we want to be exclusive with them. They're the largest discount pharmacy. So, we just want to kind of grow together and build that relationship. Everything in business is about relationships. You don't want to just go to the cheapest 3PL or work with the cheapest supplier. You want to work with the one that really, really goes above and beyond for you. It might cost you a little bit more. You might have to sacrifice other things to build that relationships. Like all relationships, we sacrifice, but
Chemist Warehouse is definitely one we'll want to be doing that with. So, and I learned a ton about retail. I'm not a retail expert by any means. They were, had 30 years experience. There's probably 100 years of experience in that room. So, learn a ton. It's so good to be able to just make your home really, really beautiful and buy things that you really, really want. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. That's why we work so hard, because then we can make a beautiful home for the people we love. Your payment is just constant work, just constant obsession, long nights, sleepless nights. Then everyone around you gets lifted up. And that's what it's all about.
I was doing so much mentoring one-on-one, and then the day that I announced Daily Mentor, and I was like, I'm going to bring in lots of coaches, everyone was like, just turned on me instantly. They're like, you're a scammer. And honestly, it was a little bit hard, because I've always tried to make sure that I always deliver on the promise. I think there's a massive stigma around selling an info product, and you need to know this if you're launching an info product, because you need to build the trust. There's been so many bad actors in the space. There's a few ways you can do that. First, you build your social media profile around the thing that you actually are selling, because if you've done it, then obviously you can help other people do it, and do it in an extent that is way bigger than everybody else. The second thing is just the promise. If you promise results and commit to investing in the education of it, rather than just investing heaps in ads. We spend barely any on ads, because I remember listening to a podcast and it was about consulting.com, one of the largest mentoring info products out there. And his biggest regret was that he didn't just invest in the content, he sent the money to Mark Zuckerberg instead and paid for ads. If he invested in the content, there would have been a large viral effect from that. People would have just told, the word of mouth around the product would have been there, and it would have grown way better for everybody. It would have been positive sum. The other thing that I've done as well is just launch a free e-commerce course, millionaires.com, to try to keep that goodwill in the industry, because I do care about the industry. I recognize there's bad actors. And at the end of the day, I do care a little bit that people think that I'm a scammer. But what am I going to do? There's people that I'm helping. So I think that's just the price you've got to pay. Tune in next week. I'm going to cover all about the e-com business side of things rather than the info side of things, which, as I said, is my main jam. So peace out.